And welcome. Let's take a look at our top story this hour. The day-long NATO summit has begun in Brussels, with 30 NATO allies gathering to deliberate on a wide range of issues. All 30 NATO world leaders assembled in a hall for a social distanced family photo. The leaders were then asked to remove their masks and look at the camera for a full 15 seconds. After the photo was taken, the group was watched a futuristic climate screen in the center of the room. The huge screen lit up with a video touting the alliance, and the clip was accompanied by soaring music. The leaders were then told to put their masks back on as they headed for the summit. US President Joe Biden arrived at the NATO Summit in Brussels and held a short bilateral meeting with NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg. This is Joe Biden's first in-person North Atlantic Treaty Organization summit as the President of America.
Mr. President, it's great to see you again, and just a week after we met in the White House, and thank you so much for your strong personal...
The French President Emmanuel Macron and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan were among the leaders of the NATO countries who arrived for the summit in Brussels. Other leaders of NATO countries, including German Chancellor Angela Merkel, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, have also arrived at the summit venue. The key sites in Brussels, including the national embassies, have been tightened with high security ahead of the summit. A day after the group of 7 nations issued a statement on human rights in China, NATO leaders are expected to brand China a security risk to the Western alliance. However, in the opening remarks, NATO General Secretary Jens Stoltenberg has clarified that there was no new Cold War with China.
We're not entering a new Cold War, and China is not our adversary, not our enemy, but we need to address together as an alliance the challenges that the rise of China poses to our security. NATO is the strongest, the most successful alliance in history. We have proven again and again that we're able to change when the world is changing. Over the last years, we have implemented the biggest adaptation of NATO since the end of the Cold War. We will continue to adapt with the decisions we are making today.
And for more on this, our correspondent Lucy Hugh has sent us this report from the NATO headquarters in Brussels. Listen in.
The message from Joe Biden today will be very much about reiterating that America can be relied upon as a trusted old ally, that there are a number of areas where there must be transatlantic cooperation, particularly those threats from Russia, from China, but also on transatlantic issues such as cybersecurity and climate change as well. So, but there may still be some continued areas where there are some more difficult conversations. We know that even in the post-Trump era, there is still a feeling amongst many in the United States, both from the Democrats and the Republicans, that feel that America is still carrying too heavy a burden when it comes to NATO's common budget, and that may be a source of contention. We know that France, for example, is sort of hesitant when it comes to plans for a boosted collective budget, NATO budget put forward by Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg of some $20 billion US over the course of the next decade. So there will likely be some resistance on that. There is also, of course, the issue of Afghanistan, with Joe Biden taking the decision to withdraw all US troops in the region come September the 11th. So much on the agenda, but certainly the tone of this meeting will be very different to those testy and difficult meetings under former President Trump.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.